Hi, it's Lou. It's Saturday, and it is, I didn't look at the time. Let's see. It's 2:56 Eastern Standard Time. My glasses just did that. Anyway, I just figured I would take a minute and maybe read another scripture. I want to get First Peter done, and then I'm going to have to do Second Peter. Let's see, is it? I don't want to look that up. I guess I could. Okay. It's First Peter and Second Peter. I think there's going to be a bunch of these. They've got to be letters to the churches. There's 3 Johns. Anyway, I want to go back to wherever that is. Peter, fucking eater. All right, so it's First Peter has 5. I know I've already told you this before, right? And Second Peter has 3. I just didn't know if it was somehow First Peter with another 2 in it somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to endeavor. It shouldn't be that hard, except for I stumble over words and stuff. And I did one of those things, so far I didn't do it very well. Speed readers, okay? They do something where they start the sentence and they've got something in the middle and then on the end, and they skip a bunch of words, okay? They just skim over it real quick. And I did that. So far I didn't do it good enough. I didn't go edge to edge. I just went down the middle. But I can tell that I'm going to have a hard time probably saying some words, but that's normal, right? So let's see, I'm on Second Peter. I got to go back. We're going to do First Peter. We're going to do chapter 3. And it is talking about husbands and wives and how to honor each other. I remember reading the synopsis, probably to you guys. I thought how appropriate. Sometimes you read in the scriptures and you find that it's what you needed. I haven't read it yet. Like I said, I just skimmed over it a little bit, enough to know that I'm going to have a hard time with the words. I will try. And like I've said before, when you're reading the scriptures, you need to know what punctuation means. Basic, the basics. In other words, when it's a comma, you pause just a little bit. When it's a colon, which is the 2 dots, when it's that, what's coming is what they were just talking about. It might be in a different context or something, but what's coming after that is either what they're talking about, or, they'll say so-and-so, 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 but it all has to do with what came before the colon. And then there's the semicolon. That's just a brief stop in a sentence. It's separating the 2. They might be different phrases, but it's a brief stop in the sentence. These are Mary Lou's words. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to try to read this. And the only reason I tell you those things is because they use it a lot, and you need to pay attention to it, because it divides thoughts. Scriptures are made up kind of like phrases. Sometimes it's phrases added together, and sometimes they are meaning the same thing. They're just written in a different context. So like maybe some different type people will understand it better or something. Because I don't know how many languages they had back there. Or if there was just one common language where everybody talked the same. I know there was a bunch of different cultures, like Egyptian, Hebrew, but all these different places could have had different languages, kind of like we have today, because it came from the Tower of Babel, where the languages were confounded. Far-fetched, right? Hard to believe what I'm telling you. I'm not supposed to be talking. I want to go ahead and read this so that I'll get on to something else. See, my arm gets tired. I need to go get that gadget. Because I need to I need to be able to see my iPad. So I've pulled it off the table, got it in my lap so it can be closer to me. And there's only 22 verses, so we'll just go ahead and do this, and then I'll come back and talk. Because I find that even though I don't know what I'm going to say, I usually have something to say. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are. And I know not everybody can have a great day. Just pray you do the best with what you got to try. I got to put it back over here. To try and stay in the light. It's going to be like it's the word mantra. I don't know what that means, but it comes to mind as what I'm trying to say. Like my slogan. I'll have several slogans, but and yeah, Monterage, that's where you have a whole bunch of people following you around everywhere, I think. I hate spending a lot of money on things, but it is true. Good nutrition's where it's at, right? If you can't make yourself get it, problem is you shouldn't be relying on just powders, and I do that. I tend to do that. So here's a product. See, back when I was 62, I'm not exactly sure the age, okay? 62 or 63, it just seemed like I started falling apart. Literally, I had a rough time. Moving around, getting very far without being out of breath, all kinds of things. Which when they took that tumor out later, because we didn't know about all that, it was like it freed up a bunch of pathways. All of a sudden I had energy, and my numbers went down. In other words, the high numbers of the cholesterol and the blood pressure and the blood sugar all went to normal. And in fact, I was getting sick for using metformin. And I know that it was the metformin because I went off of it and I quit being sick. I'm feeling pretty good. Actually, I woke up today with some energy. I mean, really, I kind of bounced out of bed. Well, no. I woke up slow. I have a hard time sleeping through the night. I sleep a little bit, and I have fragmented sleep, is what I'm going to call it. But that's why I'm taking the melatonin, and it is seeming to help. It helps me sleep. Sometimes, if my mind's too active, it won't let me sleep. But maybe once I do go to sleep, it'll help me stay that way. It's usually my intervals. I'm lucky if I get 3 hours at a time. I found myself waking up last night, realizing I was awake and laying in bed, and I just held my eyes open for a minute, and I just went back to sleep. I shut my eyes and went back to sleep. I'm glad I was able to do that. Anyway. Lazy day. Lazy day. Just right for loving away. you know, it's Mamas and the Papas, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know what the song is. Surely, California Dreamin', You Got Me in a Daze. I think that might be two different songs. We stopped into a church we passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees and I began to pray. Oh, a preacher's life is hard. California Dreamin' on such a winter's day. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. Anyway, I'm sure I just sang it to you, so there's no sense singing again, right? I was singing earlier. It's a song that I heard recently, and that was that Elvis impersonation thing. I don't know what you exactly call it, but he's an impersonator. And he said it's more like a tribute to Elvis instead of a impersonation. But he dressed like Elvis, and he bought the special outfit and everything. I think I was a little too close. Might have been better on the back row. There were only 3 rows, okay? 3 rows on in a circle. And they did have standing, well, I don't know if they had standing room, but the point was they were overfilled. So it was cool. And like I said, Elvis isn't my time. And then he was stuck in just a certain time frame. Well, it wasn't the songs that I really like. One was Don't Cry Daddy. You know, sad songs. What else did he sing? Suspicious Minds. Okay, that's the one I was singing earlier. I was doing dishes and I was singing that song. Caught in a Trap. And you can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? When you don't believe a word I say, we can't go on together with suspicious minds. We can't live our dreams. I'm probably adding my own words to that because I don't know the song that well. But he did sing that song that night. I'll have to find somebody who got a better video. My videos weren't that great, so I found myself deleting them. I think I still have one left. So I was going to try to put one on here so you guys could see him. I don't know his name except for that it's Frank. And he is part of a band called Then Came Man. I haven't heard them. I've just heard them do the Elvis deal. But everybody that was in the band that night is in that other band called Then Came Man. So they have a page on Facebook. Should be able to find them. And then I just don't know what Frank's last name is and what the Elvis still goes by. But it's the same people. So maybe part of their stuff would show up with Then Came Man. And if you're out in this area, we're out in Philadelphia area. It's Lansdale is where we are. In Philadelphia, I don't know how far away it is. I think it might even be almost an hour, 40 minutes. depending on the traffic. If it's one of those rush hour things where you're really rushing to go slow because you can't get anywhere, that's a terrible thing. If going early and stopping in for coffee somewhere is a good thing, it's better to be sitting having coffee in a warm place than sitting in traffic where the fumes are filling your nostrils, which are filling your lungs, and it would just go in all over your body. All the stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay, quit talking, Mary Lou, but it's true. So if you can avoid sitting in traffic, all the better for you. Understand? It's just the way it is. And it's true, they call it rush hour traffic, but what they're really telling you is sitting traffic. Sometimes it gets to move. It is amazing what the engineers, whoever's responsible for putting those roadways together and in a fashion where people can move on and off and the signs are there. I mean, it's a marvelous thing. That's one of those blessings that we don't think about. That we get to move through traffic and we get to actually go to a destination that's quite a ways away. As long as we got wheels, a car or a motorcycle, and we got the fuel for it, whether it be electric or gas. Nice to be able to get in the car and go visit some people. That's what I wanted to do. When I got that car, that was my intention. Because then I could go and see my sister, Teresa D. Maybe help her out some. We can always use help. It's hard, though. It's hard to relinquish any, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. I understand. Because it's my stuff. I'm not any good at, the thing to do would be to list it. If you aren't going to wear it, keep it or whatever. I know it's a treasure. See, she's got storage units too. I don't know if she's got more than one. I had more than one. I had 2 50-foot lockers that I lost because I knew I was never going to go there and get my stuff. And I got tired of paying every month, so I quit paying. Part of it was that I couldn't afford it. but still, comes a time when you realize it's futile. You're just throwing your money away. And there's enough stuff there that guy recouped way over. Those people in Downs made out pretty good, I'm sure. Because when they do stuff like that, they just sell it cheap. You go to the auction, depending on how many people come, and you're out kind of in the middle of nowhere. You've got Downs, and then you've got Osborne that's 12 miles away, and you've got Beloit, Beloit or something like that. It's a weird name, Beloit. That's a little town 24 miles away. That's where the hospital is, and that's where larger grocery stores are, and larger, like a lumber yard, where you can go get things to build with, construction, like Lowe's and Home Depot, those things. Boy, there's some dogs going crazy outside. No wonder our dog, he just started. Tyler's been moving. He came and got his bed today. We're up on the 2nd floor, and it's a sharp curve. I don't know how they did it. I didn't get up and look. And it looked to me like it was a king-size bed. So I don't know how they did that. But they did it. That's the point. So, good. It's nice to have help. When you got to do things, you need help. My little house, I could go and You know, if certain things are not right, then it would be an expensive adventure. But if the water pipes are okay, my metal fence blew down. The metal blew down. The posts are still there, as far as I know, unless someone has came and taken them. The posts are in the ground. Some of them are kind of falling over, but if the metal is still there, it would not be that hard to put that fence back up, because the posts are where the line is, probably a little closer to our side than the line. Some people have a fit, you know, like if you have to work on the fence, if you're going to be on their property, well, that's ridiculous. If you share the fence, you should share the space in order to fix it without being worried about being on someone else's property, because it's all for your both your good. You're both enjoying the fence. Maybe one isn't. It was what we did was we took barn metal, and this is used barn metal. I found it where somebody was selling it, you know, and they had taken it down. I don't know if they took it down off of a barn, but you know, some of it's rusty, and some of them were 8 feet, some were 10 feet, some were 12 feet. I might even have some 15-foot, but I went and bought it. I don't know that I bought all he had, but I bought almost all he had if I didn't, for fencing. Okay? What we did was we put landscaping posts. I'm not saying you should do this, okay? Because in the long run, if you want it to last, I'm not sure what you'd do. Because really, if we would have done our fence correctly, it wouldn't have blown down. And you can do that even with the landscaping post. You need to make sure that it's not going to rot. I don't know if there's a way to do that. You know, like you stick it in the ground, and then you should put cement in it. And I bet we did. I don't know. I know out on the farm, oh, I got a headache. Out on the farm, I don't think we did. You know, you dig a hole, you stick it in, you tap the dirt back down on top of it. And that way, if you decide to pull it up, you don't have to worry about all the cement and stuff. However, I think it would help the strength. It not rotting. But that cement needs to be up above ground, and it needs to be going away from the wood so that the water leaves the wood. I got lost in my fence. So anyway, our fence was landscaping post. Should have been every 6 feet. But you take and you screw it. You lay it down sideways. You know, instead of standing it up tall, you lay it down sideways. So it's like maybe the old metal was like maybe 30 inches wide, 29. You're lucky if you got 32 inches, okay? That's pretty good. But the point is, you go and you lay it down sideways and you just screw it onto your post. So sometimes, depending on what you're trying to do, you might not put a post every so often. You know, you might just screw the metal to both ends because it's going to be pretty strong. And the little thing on the inside that's trying to get out is not going to be able to. But anyway, and if you got just yourselves and your little puppies and stuff, it's marking their boundary, they stay inside. And if they can't see outside, all the better. So for once there's noise outside the fence, you know, because then that way they can't see it. And that's a bothersome thing, right? When there's noise right outside your little fenced-in area and you want to know what it is. I found out since, okay, guys, depending on your situation, there's at the feed store, There's a thing called cattle panels. And they also have horse panels and goat panels, probably. But these cattle panels that I'm talking about they're like heavy steel. They're round, um, like farm fencing, but it's with heavier steel. Okay, so it's not going to just bend to the will of the animal that's trying to poke its head through. I know what I'm talking about because we had goats that stuck their head through and then they got stuck. And then it's like trying to figure out how the heck to get them back out, because they got those horns. They got something in the way. Anyway, yes, several little different types of things I learned out on the farm. So you have to have the money to be able to do it right too. But then you've got to take the time to do it right. My husband put up a fence. We bought a roll of fencing, okay? Because you can get it in a roll and it's thinner metal. And what they are is like you can get them. I think they're normally like 6 by 6 inches. The thing in the middle, the space. You might can get 5 by 5 and 4 by 4. 4 by 4 would be really great. Goat metal, you need to almost have it 2 by 4s. I mean, that means 2 by 4 spacing for the metal. 4 by 4 would work pretty good. And also you have to, with the dogs, the same thing. Just make smaller holes. You put that from, you can use T-post. If you don't know what a T-post is, you can look it up. It's a piece of metal that you slam into the ground, and there's a tool that'll help you do it, okay? So you, every so many feet, like if the panel is, they used to be 16 feet. But I think there's some different lengths that you can get. You might can get 12 foot. And I know you can get 8 foot, which is half of the 16. But that's a good place to go on a good thought pattern. Depends on your situation, what you need to accomplish, because you can get T-posts pretty cheap. And if you get the ones that are 16 foot long, that's not going to, if you want to encase your garden, you have to have something that is like a 2 by 4, because you're not going to keep the rabbits out and all the different animals that want to chew on your garden. And if they've gone to the trouble to dig under the ground and get to your stuff, then I don't know what to say. That's where those raised beds are good, because it's got a floor to it. The animals can't burrow in unless they can cut through it with their teeth. I don't know if plastic is a thing, but wood is a thing. I know I talk weird. So, I haven't read that. So maybe this will just be the precursor to me reading that, because I'm already 28 minutes in. And I've got to, when I do a chapter, I need to kind of say, well, this is what it is, and let it be what it is. And I've been too busy talking. I feel hungry. Ouch. How that hurt. I cut my nails off, okay? They're not very long. But evidently they're strong enough to hurt. Because I just rubbed the point of my nail across my forehead. Like, oh my God. I shouldn't have done that. But that's the way it was. So, I'll just do this to be a talking one, and then I'll come back and read that. Because I would like to get that done. And so that's Peter. I don't know why he's placed where he is in the book. Meaning he's the head, the rock, and he's not in the very first part of the You know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then the Acts. But after that, I think is where these letters start coming in. And I would think he would have been in first place there. But I just got to quit thinking. I think too much. I need to learn how to meditate. And I do need to learn how to eat. I feel like I need to go make me something to eat. I got the hungers going on in my belly. You know what? It's a bad habit. It's a very bad habit. But I've got these things, my dad called them nabs. I'll just get a little package. And what they are is Ritz crackers with peanut butter in them. Or you can get them with cheese. I don't know if that's going to stay there. It might fall. I've got to have something. I've got that hunger be sick thing. So, maybe I'll just talk past the phone. So you don't have to watch me chew. But I've got to have my cracker. And let's see. Maybe I should just stop. That's a good time. It's 31:43. Maybe I'll do. I could do 33. I don't know if I could stop on that. But I could try. Yeah, I'll read chapter 3 next of 1 Peter. So I'll get 1 Peter and 2 Peter done. And I need to look up here. You know, is it 1 Peter that's doing the writing? 1 Peter. When would it say that in the very beginning, chapter 1? The first epistle general of Peter. The trial of our faith precedes salvation. Christ was foreordained to be the Redeemer. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, though sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. That's pretty cool. I went past my thing. That's what happens. I get distracted. I do want to read that to us, so I'll do that here in just a little bit. I'm going to have a cracker and have my orange, and then I'll be back. I've got that up here with me. Okay, before very long, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to try. So, let me just say goodbye.